Hi everybody, it's me, Carrie Beglow with MemoryINKers.com, back again for just a quick little trick I'm going to show you with this awesome cake soiree. If you've been following my blog this week, you would know that I have blogged Monday through Saturday, and today I am ending with this fun video. I believe it's called the Sweet Soiree Suite in the Occasions 2018 catalog. Has been my theme all week, and although I don't blog every single day, this week I have, and with this awesome suite. So to do the card that we're doing today, you're going to need the Sweet Soiree, or I'm sorry, Cake Soiree stamp set, and you will need the awesome Whisper White narrow note cards and envelopes. You get 20 cards and envelopes in this pack for $8. The Sweet Soiree, or the Cake Soiree stamp set, is $35 in clear mount and $47 if you prefer the wood mount. It does not come in photopolymer. This card set of the narrow note cards and envelopes is $8, and the cards fold to 2.5 inches by 4.5 inches when they are completed. You will also need your Berry Burst and your old olive ink pads, as well as your tuxedo black memento pad. I won't be using these on the video, but to complete the card I did use some of the watercolor pencils, the Stampin' Write marker and Melon Mambo, and a blender pen, which I will show you what I did with those later. Also, paper snips, and probably the thing I'm most obsessed with in this entire catalog is the metallic edge ribbon in Berry Burst. Oh my gosh, it is so, I'm in love with it. And you will need a pack of Post-it notes. Okay, so let's get started. Okay, so the first thing I want to do to make this card is I want to only do the front side of the card. So you can see I've already done this before. There's 2 sticky notes here, and I'm going to line it up with the little valley that is in the score line. You always want to do the valley on the outside of your card and the hill on the inside of your card. So when you're folding, sorry, I have to do it this way or I can't see what I'm doing. Pardon my head if it happens to be in the video. There, okay. So I don't have that lined up perfectly, but you get the idea. So what I'm going to be showing you today is a technique where you mask your stamp images so that when you are done, it looks like the images are behind each other. Let me show you the sample. Okay, this is the sample of what I'm doing today, and you can see how the flower images and the leaves, so it's a little hard to tell now that it's completed, but they are kind of behind each other, and I'm going to show you how I did that. So I started with the Memento ink, and I stamped the rose in the corner like that. And then I had pre-stamped them onto another sticky note, making sure that the image was on the sticky part. And then I cut it out. And if you look at this rose image, I don't know if you can see it up close. I'm hoping that you can. It looks like there is a heart in the center, and that will help you line up your image a little bit easier. And then what I'm going to do is I am going to stamp another rose here and another rose here, just to add some little bit of flavor there. And then I'm going to mask these. They don't have the same ease of design as the other set does, but you can play with it and kind of figure it out. You may or may not be able to tell. Not lining this one up very good, but there we go, that looks good. But when I trimmed them out, I don't know if you can see, let me put it on another Post-it note, but when I trimmed it, I cut kind of close to the edge, sometimes inside the edge, That helps because when you stamp, you get kind of a, there's an edge on the end of these, and you will get some errors if you don't kind of let them be inside. And sometimes then when I stick them, I make sure that the line is kind of out there. Now I'm going to do this really fast because I've done this video 3 times and my camera is acting up. I don't think it's my camera. Honestly, it's probably user error. I mean, let's be real. It is me. So I am going to stamp a few leaves onto this just to make it more fun. And you can see that I'm stamping right over where I have matted. And if you peel away, you can see how the leaves are now behind that image. In fact, before you color it, it's a lot easier to see it. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to take the Berry Burst ink and I am going to stamp full strength the inside of this rose. Now I'm not going to get it perfect, because like I always say, it's me, so it won't be perfect. And see this little bit right here, how it's edging off, and that was my mistake. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my marker that's also Berry Burst, and I'm going to put a little ink on it. And I'm going to take my blender pen, grab a little ink, and I'm just going to kind of color that in so that it matches a little bit better. Then you know you wipe off your blender pen until it's clear. Okay, now I'm going to mask this back up again. I know I should have colored it before. Then I am going to take the inside of the smaller one, and I want them to be a little lighter. So I am going to matte them off. And then I get a little bit lighter flower behind the other flower. And to save you from watching me do the whole thing, sorry about that, let me continue with what I was doing. So you can see that I have the leaves behind the flowers and some of the flowers behind the darker flower. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to again matte all of my flowers. It takes a minute to sometimes see where you have them matted. Just on these. I mean, some things are super easy to matte and cover. And then I am going to cover this leaf and this one up here. And then with the Memento ink again, whoops, I'm sorry. I am going to take whatever you want to call these things. I don't know what they are, but they're kind of cool. And I'm going to just add a few of them, kind of like they're growing out, kind of like, you know, I think of them as baby's breath. I know that sounds kind of weird, but that's what I was thinking about when I saw them. And I'm gonna maybe turn it this way and see what we can do about getting something down here, because it's a little bare. And then I'm gonna move this leaf over to cover this one. Oops, it's not covered very well, is it? Oh, because that one's cut funny. So I'm gonna switch them out. So when you're making your mats, you do need to be careful that you don't like this one is cut off a little bit, but it's gonna still work with what I'm doing. Okay, so it looks a little weird right now, I know, but once you start to remove all of the mats, you can see how it actually is kind of cute. Then I have to figure out what I did with stuff. Okay, then I'm going to cut some of this awesome ribbon. First, let me fold my card. Grab my bone folder. And these need to be creased very well because it is made from the thick Whisper White. So it's going to have a tendency to want to fight you on the fold. Which is good though, you want a thick card on it. So all I'm going to do with this is I'm just going to cut a piece of ribbon at a random length. This end looks pretty straight to me, so I'm going to just trim this one at an angle. And then using my fast fuse, although you can certainly use your tear and tape or glue dots if you prefer, I'm going to glue down the ribbon. And oh, look what I just did. I don't know how I do that. It drives me crazy. Good thing I'm going to hide it a little bit. So I'm going to move this ribbon over so I have a little bit better ease in hiding it. Okay, so now I have the ribbon on there, and then to hide it, I used I stamped this awesome shape from this stamp, and then what I found was the For You is separate, but it will fit in the present, which is kind of cool. And this is where those watercolor pencils I told you to have handy came in. I colored in the flowers, and then I used the pointed or the smaller edge of the Stampin' Write marker in Berry Burst to color in the little dots here. I could have done it with watercolor pencils, but I kind of wanted them to stand out a little bit more. Plus, you can get a lot more precision with a dot like that than you can with, you know, marking it with a pencil and then trying to blend it out. So let's see if I can cover up my schmutz so I don't have to do this video again, because I think I'll just throw in the towel at that point. Looks like one of those is funky. Oh, hold on, I just messed up a thing. Hold on. Sorry about that. I pulled too hard on my glue dot, or my Stampin' Dimensional, and pulled it right off the card. So, yay, I am covering it. So now this is popped up. So now there it is on the card, and it's a cute little note card you could give for anything really. Birthday, graduation. It's definitely feminine, but it could go for a wedding card. I definitely recommend that you stamp the little envelope that comes with it, as I did here. And this time I decided to do it all the way across the back flap. And I did take my bone folder and tried to flatten this flap as best that I could. However, I did find that when I stamped on it, I'm not real sure if you can see it, but I ended up using my blender pen by taking the brush end of the blender, or I'm sorry, the Stampin' Write marker, and then grabbing my blender pen and scooping up some of that color, and then just kind of coloring it in where the bump caused it to be white, if that makes sense. When you stamped on it, that's like the reason I told you that there's an edge on here, and when you stamp, it will give you a white edge. And that was that's what happened here. So so this is the card and envelope, which I think anybody would be very happy to receive. And I'm going to show you a couple of other things that I did. First, oh gosh, I just dropped everything. Hold on. This has been the craziest video ever that I've ever done. Okay, so now I'm going to show you some other things that I have done similar to this one. One of the things I definitely want to tell you is if you are considering getting the Cake Soiree stamp set now during Sale-a-bration, I would like to recommend that as your free item, you consider the Sweet Soiree Memories and More card pack, which is really, really a fun set. And of course, it's great for scrapbooking, but it makes some really fun cards like I'm going to show you today. So this one did not use any of that Sweet Soiree pack, but this one, which is extremely similar to it, only I stamped the present directly onto this piece from the Sweet Soiree scrapbook, whatever you want to call it, Memories and More. A lot of you call it something else, but we won't go there. And you can see I trimmed it down quite a bit. There's this really pretty sweep, but I couldn't figure out how to make the sweep look exactly the way I wanted, so I trimmed it a little bit on each end. I knew that I wanted to mat it in the Berry Burst because it was going on white, and for this particular card I didn't want the white card on the white card base. And then of course I added some more of that amazing ribbon that I love, and a few of the awesome rhinestone basics. Anyway, then for the envelope for this one, I stamped just the flap. And I don't know if you can see, but remember I was telling you about when there's a bump. Can you see how the color isn't just perfect? So I need to go in and do some touch-ups on this envelope like I did on this envelope. Okay, so there's one. Then I made this fun card that I matted onto our, it's only matted straight onto our gold foil paper because it's so thick. It's a thick cardstock, and then it is covered with product from the Painted Love gold vinyl stickers, which are just put right over top. It's 3 stickers: the inside of the heart, the outline of the heart, and then this swatch. And then when you open it, it says I love you, and that came from this. And you can see how when I folded it, that's where this came from. You will have to make your own envelope for this, but my intention is to just use it as like a tag type thing on a gift. It's easy peasy, and I think it's great. You can put more time and effort then into the present for the person that you love. Just don't tell them how easy the card was. They won't know. Then this last one also uses this particular piece from the Memories and More pack. And what I did was, when I originally started this design, I trimmed it kind of by the white edge here, and that's where this came from because it's on the back. And you see that it's not even, and I thought that was cool. So when I put it on the card front, I just put it on crooked just to make it a little more whimsy. Then what I found was, even when I trimmed it to the white, it was still too big for the card base, which is in Calypso Coral. And then I trimmed it down to the basic gray, and it was still a little too tight. I wanted some edge here. I don't know if you can see. Wanted some edge of the coral to show. So I trimmed it a little bit cattywampus here, and then I just used my black Stampin' Write marker to give it back the black edge. And then on the inside, I use the technique I showed you today for matting these beautiful flowers. And this, you notice, is not using, it doesn't have the black background. That was just the inside image stamped by itself. So it gave it a white outline, which I think is very pretty. And then these other flowers were colored in with the new Stampin' Blends. This is, I believe that I used Pear Pizzazz as the green, and then this is the same image as I've done here in black, but I did it in the Pear Pizzazz, and then I just colored in a few, not all, of the little dots to give them the bud look. So that's it. I hope that you will consider following me and on MemoryINKers.com. If you have not been there all week, I'm doing my very first theme week. I don't know for sure if I said that already, but all week I have been using things from the Sweet Soiree Suite in the 2018 Occasions catalog. And so you'll get a whole bunch of ideas if you go back there and you look back through Monday. So it's Monday through Saturday. It's my very first theme week. I'm kind of excited about it. I'm going to do it once a month, and I will blog for 6 days on that particular week, which those of you who follow me know I normally blog 3 times a month, or I'm sorry, 3 times a week. That may increase in the future, but Also, I'm going to try to include YouTube on theme week all the time, and at least once a week in general anyway. So if you'd like to follow me, you can go to MemoryINKers.com and follow me on my blog, and you can also sign up for my newsletters there. You can follow me on Facebook. It's Facebook/MemoryINKers. Or if you like this YouTube video, I hope you'll press that little button down there and you will subscribe to my YouTubes. That would be awesome, and I would love to see you back here again at MemoryINKers. Bye-bye.